Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. We gon' ride out. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, hey, Ravens. We gon' ride out.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, original sports perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect it. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White of rap for the beat, though. Hey, welcome back to the home of original sports perspective from our couch to yours. This is your host, Jermaine Lockett, your Couch Rider Raven, saying, my bad. My bad. I know we live right here middle of the day, and I know I was supposed to be on last night, but things got crazy. I needed to focus on the thing that's above my head right here. If you look above, it says Faith Family Football. I needed to focus on one of those, and my family needed me. They needed me for a moment, so I took that time out for them. Apologies. I still love y'all. I still appreciate everything y'all doing for the Couch Rider Nation right here, and we got some good things coming. First things first, we got a new logo. I'll show you that. If you check out the Twitter, you'll see it on my handle, and I'll make sure I change the things up to make sure you see, hey, we got it rocking. And the next thing is, y'all saw the title. Actually, I don't know if you saw the title or not. 5 different ways to make the Baltimore Ravens better in 2023. We'll get into that in just a second. There's been a lot of craziness going on between Lamar's contract, the combine. There's so much to keep up with. But I want to start by saying, hey, Ingraven, shout out to you, man. We appreciate you and everything you've done for Ravens Nation, for the flock. And I know you're going through this tough time right now, but just know that wherever you go, we will follow. There's no question, if you decide to start a new channel, that all of the Couch Rider Nation will follow you. And I'm pretty sure all those 64,000 followers you have will be following you to the new channel because we love what you do. We appreciate you keeping us up to date, and we got your back 100%. So with that said, folks, I think that's all I need to do for our motivational stuff for today. But shout out to each one of y'all. We still sitting at, I think about 1,158 subs. So I appreciate y'all. We got those extra 3 subs. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down, baby. All right. So y'all know it. We got a new offensive coordinator. We got a new offensive coordinator. We got things going on. We got people that are emotional on Twitter right now. They going off on their rants, but I'm going to try to stick to the script without going too far off because Twitter will take you there. They will take you there for sure. Let's see who we got in the room today. So living with Big Reg. So what's good, everybody? Hey, y'all. Big Reg has his own show. He has got his own show, folks. So y'all make sure y'all check it out. Check out his YouTube channel. Living with Big Reg. Is it called Living with Big Reg? I think it's Big Reg is the show called Living with Big Reg. Just go ahead and comment down there that way people know that it is your show. He's got some interesting perspectives on the Ravens and things we can do go forward. But I am going to talk about my 5, starting with number 5. We got to find a DB coach. We need to find a DB coach, folks, because the Ravens were ranked 20th in pass yards allowed per attempt in 2022. They were allowing 6.7 yards per catch. Anthony Lynn is gone. Anthony Lynn is now working at UCLA as their defensive coordinator. So that gives us an opportunity to improve upon what we got going on here. They were top 5 in scoring defense, allowing 20 touchdowns in the air all year. So that was actually a good thing. That defense did look pretty good last year, but I was just showing one of the good things and one of the bad things about that defense. They also gave up 206 first downs via the air last year. It was a middle of the pack number. Just know that if anybody gives up over 170 first downs in a season, there may be some questions. Just saying, we gave up a few. And it was kind of frustrating because those touchdowns, those first downs that were given up towards the end of the season, if you have been watching. Let's see. Lynn moving over to UCLA. It's a hit. It's a hit. But it leaves a window open and an opportunity to bring in somebody big. Hang on just a second. Let me go ahead and get you. Yes, Living with Big Reg is the name of the YouTube channel. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe and smack the bell for this guy because he has been loyal to our channel. We want to be loyal to his as well. Maybe we even have him on the show here because he does like talking a great deal about what we can do for the offense. All right, back to it. So like I said, one of the ways we can make this team better is getting the right DB coach. Wilbert is in the building, folks. Sorry. I got to be quick about this because I have somewhere to go, but I am glad you are here, Wilbert. Hey, your stuff is hilarious on that on the chat on the AFC North War Room. Wilbert takes time and puts energy into clowning people left and right. Doesn't matter. Anybody can get it. Ravens, Browns, Bengals, all of them. Everybody can get it. Steelers can get it too when it comes to Wilbert because he will clown you all equally in that room. All right, back to it. The big thing I keep trying to get to, DB coach. Well, if you take a look over at Bethune-Cookman, they don't have a legendary Hall of Famer coach, a legendary Hall of Famer safety, as their DB coach anymore, which leaves a void that could be filled in Baltimore. So Baltimore is looking for a DB coach. We once had the best safety of all time in our backfield, who is looking for a coaching opportunity. This, yes, open the door for Ed Reed. Ed Reed and John Harbaugh, they have a history of kind of butting heads a bit, but that is the best type of teams that can come together. Is those who don't those who disagree with each other. People who disagree with one another can end up being good teammates because they give a different perspective than the other person. Yes, when it comes to leadership styles, if somebody is a little bit too authoritative, the other person who is kind of in opposition, they may not get along as much. But if you take that time to mold and work on that relationship, it can be something beautiful. You know, we got the Foreman, Stormer, Norman performing type stages when it comes to teams. And I believe that Ed Reed and John Harbaugh, if John says, hey, look, you know what? McDonald is running the defense. He runs you. He runs, hey, y'all work together. I ain't got nothing to do with you. We're not going to butt heads because I ain't going to see you because you work for him. You don't necessarily work directly for me, but you in the chain of command. So I'm going to expect McDonald to run his business the way he runs it. Y'all work together. Y'all do your thing. It could be a beautiful thing, and we could probably have one of the best secondaries of all time if we allow Ed Reed to come work with the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see what Wilbert has to say here. We'll pay some bills for a second. So as a fan of the game, Ed will be a great addition to the Ravens as a rival. I don't want him making those DBs better. You heard it from a Browns fan right there. That Browns fan is telling you, hey, look, they don't want Ed Reed back in this division because his whole highlight reel, the majority of it was against the Browns and was against the Bengals. That is a Browns fan saying, hey, I don't want no part of that. No part of that. So this is a good idea. Hopefully Ravens Nation is listening. Y'all make sure y'all get this video out as far and as wide as possible because we need Ed Reed back in Baltimore coaching the DBs. All right. The next thing, now that we've talked about finding the right DB coach, let's move in to retaining these restricted free agents. The restricted free agents, oh my goodness. Let's talk about who's out there. We got TCC. We got Christian Welch, that's a linebacker. We got Geno Stone, safety. We got Tyler Huntley, quarterback, could possibly getting lost to the Saints or other teams that are looking a little hungry after a quarterback, and Huntley has shown potential. Of course, we know what potential means. You ain't done nothing yet. But he has shown potential to be able to lead a team. And he led us to 2 wins. Led us to 2 losses. But at the same time, Huntley can come in and lead an organization, lead a team, and I think he could do just as good of a job as Geno Smith did. That's my opinion. Anyway, moving on. Deshaun Phillips, linebacker, not too big of a hit as far as restricted free agents. I think they might, they're okay with just letting that one ride. But all the tenders, they're less than $900,000 is what we're looking at for those tenders. And then there's Nick Moore, who's the exclusive rights free agent. So, of course, exclusive rights means you my boo, and you can't look at nobody else. Don't you look at nobody else. Let me catch you looking at anybody else. I swear that's you, but you mine. I might do something, but you can't go over there and look at anybody else. Anywho, Nick Moore, we don't want to lose Nick Moore, so that is locked up. But I think the ones that we should keep out of that bunch, Christian Welch, for some reason, we just need that depth at linebacker, middle linebacker especially. Geno Stone, I know that it keeps over and over again. We're like, hey, we're not committed. and now we are committed, and then we're not committed. Is you not my baby? Yes, we want Geno Stone in the house. Geno Stone is a rangy free safety. He's a ball hawk, but he just hasn't had those opportunities to shine because, once again, getting buried on a depth chart by a bunch of other stars. Hundley, definitely want to keep Hundley. Deshaun Phillips, I'm good. I'm sorry. I hadn't seen anything impressive to say, hey, this is where I want to keep this guy. But let's move on to the unrestricted free agents that we need to sign, or unrestricted free agents that are out there. We'll discuss about signing here in a second. So you have Peters. Of course, Peters didn't have the best season. I mean, quarterbacks were getting like a 116 QBR on him whenever they were throwing his direction. That's according to PFF. This dude had one interception the whole year. He missed 8 tackles on the year. I don't know. Y'all decide. Move on. Justin Houston, come on, man. This dude had 11 sacks on the season. What a dog. We need to bring this guy back. I know he's old. I know, I get it. When you're in your 30s, it's like being in your 50s. I'm almost going to be 40 in like 2 weeks. So, I don't want to talk about it. Good thing I'm not in the NFL because I would feel like I'm like 60 or something. Anywho. Then we got Juwan James. Juwan James had, I don't think that's really worked out. I mean, when you played 24 snaps and we paid you over almost $5 million in 1 year of that, for that 2-year contract you spent rehabbing, and you come out and play 24 snaps, I don't think that return on investment was there. Not at all. Not at all. Let's go back and pay some bills just for a second. Like I said, I got a little bit of time left, but I got to get to these next two. So Big Reg says, if we get Ed Reed, we good. Yes, absolutely. If we get Ed Reed, they need to make the reach out. They have to reach out first because it's a pride issue right there. Reg says, let them all go and sign Lamar. All of the restricted free agents. I mean, they're cheap. Those are super cheap. I don't think they worry about those when it comes to Lamar's contract. Yes, every dollar does count, but when it comes to Lamar's contract, I think they could squeeze these guys in there for a little bit of $900,000 a piece. For just the 3 that I'm thinking. So Christian Welch, Geno Stone, and Hundley. And, of course, Nick Moore. So 4 of those. So maybe $4 million. I think we can afford those guys and Lamar at the same time. So Hundley is 2-10 over 2 seasons. Yeah. So it's just like, all right, he has, like I said, potential is there. It's just grooming and making him be that guy, not just the stand-in. And there have been times when he went toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers, we thought for sure that we had that game in hand. He almost won that game. He would have won that game if it wasn't for coaching. There were a couple of games that he could have won if it wasn't for coaching. So that 2-10 is not I don't think it's a real showing of what Hundley is and what he could be for the Baltimore Ravens. All right, so down to we're still at number 4 as far as retaining free agents, but we're at the unrestricted free agents. So like we talked about Peters, we talked about Houston, we talked about James. Sammy Watkins, I think we're good with letting him walk. It's good. Demarcus Robinson, I really would like to see Demarcus back. He'd be a solid 2 or 3 option, depending on if we could bring in that big whale. Because Robinson had 48 catches for 458 yards and 2 touchdowns, and that was through 5 games. Okay, he caught 64% of the passes thrown his way. So, of course, if there were inaccuracies or whatever, he caught what he was supposed to catch. Ben Powers, I mean, we do need the big guys on the line, but I think this is in a situation where we let the underlings compete. Ben Cleveland, he can still come in and compete and win that starting job. Going to the draft, pick something late, but I think we can let Powers go. Some people may feel differently, maybe a little bit emotional about the situation, but I think Powers is not one that I'm going to get too emotional over. Kyle Fuller, if he can stay healthy, I don't know. It's a conversation to be having after camp starts, let's say. Bring him in and see where he is at after camp starts. Josh Oliver, that's another one to have a decent conversation about because that's a tight end the Ravens seem to like a bit. While we have a nice stable of tight ends, depends on how Monken wants to run this offense. He runs it like anything he ran in Georgia, then we want as many tight ends as we can possibly have because this guy he's running 12, and I mean, he might be running 13 personnel here. Who knows? It would be nice to see. All right, and then let's move on to number 3. The third thing we can do to help the Ravens, the third thing the Ravens can do to help themselves in 2023, learning the system. Learning Todd system. Todd Monken's system is diverse. He's a jack of all trades, master of none, but there are so many different things, so many different personnel systems. And then we have to learn if there's going to be a fullback in this system, if they're going to how they're going to use a fullback, because of all the formations we've looked at, unless it was with the Browns, we really didn't see too much of him doing anything with a fullback. And we got to figure out how our top, our big money fullback is going to fit into this. I think I mentioned this in the previous video. So just learning that system and learning how the wide receivers are going to be utilized in that system. Baltimore needs to figure out how to capitalize on Monken's history of having those 1,500-yard wide receivers in this system. All right, so we pay some Lamar here, or it's going to be pay some bills. Somebody is saying Lamar, so let them go sign Lamar. I think we mentioned this already. Appreciate you for mentioning those comments. Let's keep going. So number 2, bring in the big fish. As far as the wide receiver, we really need to bring in a wide receiver that's going to help Lamar Jackson. I mean, if we get somebody to help this guy, maybe that'll be more incentive for him to want to sign. I'll get into that in a little bit here. But when it comes to Lamar Jackson, he needs that dog. He needs that wide receiver number 1. Rashad Bateman can scream to the top of the rooftop about how he's offended about how people don't see him in certain lights. But let's just face it, right now, he is not Justin Jefferson. He's not Jamar Chase. He's not Stephon Diggs. He is not that dude yet. Can he get there? Sure, he could. But let's bring in some competition and let's see the dog come out. Let's see, you got Batman. You say you Batman. Bring out the cape, baby. Where's your utility belt? Bring it on. We want to see you be that number 1 dude. But, and meanwhile, can I bring in a dog to help you compete? Can I bring in Nuke? Can we bring him in? Because I'd like to see that type of competition. I'd like to see y'all iron sharpens iron, making each other better. Let's do it. And then, of course, number one, like I said, we bring in big time wide receivers. Doesn't matter how, what we got to do is contract wise. We can discuss that later, because when it comes to the cap, it looks like there's some way to finagle the cap to move money around to make these things happen. Because I was looking at negative cap when it came to bringing in like a Justin Jefferson, because, if you look at Minnesota's cap, they're not looking cap friendly right now for his type of contract. But Baltimore would not be as friendly either. But I'm pretty sure there's some way to make this money move around the right way to make Justin Jefferson a good ad, to make Debo, to make DK, any of those type of moves happen. Of course, if we just heard about Kenny Golladay actually getting released as well, that could be a big thing. Kenny Golladay did not work out for New York, but could he work out for Baltimore? I don't know. Some of us might be against this. Some of us might be with it. Do we want another person who's going to be injured all the time and comes in for like 6 or 7 games and gives us big plays? I don't know. Daryl Turner, welcome to the building. So we'd love to draft Zay Flowers and try to go for Mike Evans if he becomes available through a trade. There's another one. Mike Evans. Would love to see Zay Flowers and Mike Evans with Rashad Bateman here. Oh, yeah. And I'm not getting into Mike Wallace. It's not Mike Wallace. Tylan Wallace. Not here on this show, not right now. I'll wait till Cam Root comes through, because he's going to get all emotional about it on Wednesday. So y'all just get ready. All right. Anyway, so we talked about the second thing as far as signing big wide receivers. The number 1 thing, of course, is retaining Lamar Jackson. And I'll tell you exactly how we do this. You make him a non-exclusive free agent. Non-exclusive rights free agent. Why do I say this? Because 2 heads are better than 1. 3 heads are better than 2. And so on and so on. The reason I say that is because if you let this dude go out and date, tell him, hey, look, man, we want to sign you, but we want you to go figure out your number from other organizations so you know what you're worth. And we will pay what they offer as a legit deal. Now, do all this behind closed doors, and also let them know, like, hey, you got a hush clause. Do not go out there saying, hey, go give me a fake contract so the Ravens will match this number. No, go out there legit, finding out what you're worth. Find out what you're worth from each organization out there, who's willing to make this type of offer to bring you into the house. Bring those offers back to the Ravens, or actually get one of those deals signed, and the Ravens will match the offer. Because the organization has to be able to make sense to themselves to fit all this number in, and Baltimore's got to be able to make that type of sense as well. Is it risky? Yes, it's extremely risky. And Lamar Jackson may feel disrespected initially, but maybe he'll see some sense to it and say, hey, look, maybe I should just go test around just to feel exactly what I'm worth, because the Ravens right now are giving me one offer. 5 other teams or 6 other teams or however many other teams are offering X amount of dollars. And if he gets the right number that he is looking for, and it's not coming from the Ravens organization, and the Ravens, all they got to say is, oh, okay, well, ditto. I mean, if you remember the Julian Edelman contract situation, the year the Patriots won the Super Bowl, when Julian was a non-restricted free agent. So when he was an unrestricted free agent, Julian went around, Baltimore signed him to an offer, and the Patriots said, you know what, we'll match that offer. And we thought we had Julian Edelman. We did, and we lost him because of the fact that of that particular type of tag. When you put him on a non-exclusive tag, then you can go ahead and pull him in after he goes around, figures out the best type of deal. I think it's a smart situation. Let's see what your thoughts are. So no, Kenny, definitely don't want him. He was awful. And like you said, he's been injury prone. Okay. I mean, I can agree with it, but you got to look at it. Like, was it last year or was it the year before? Baltimore was in the bathroom. Kenny was in the bathroom with Baltimore on the phone trying to figure out the best deal because Baltimore wanted a shot at him. And then he robbed the Giants for $19 million a year when Baltimore was probably willing to offer around 12 to 13. We did want him. We did want him back then. Let's see what Wilbur says here. So the Ravens are set up to run Lamar's offense. Other teams would have to build around him for a couple of seasons. His prime will be out before he has a proper team. He needs to stay in Baltimore. Yes, I do agree he needs to stay in Baltimore, but the system right now is still murky. Everything is fluid with this system because Todd is trying to figure out the best way to have things similar, but also change it up to where it benefits the receiving and the passing game. And so that's going to be a little bit fluid as we go. But folks, look at me. We sitting here at 10:25. We are out of time. I've enjoyed y'all. Make sure y'all share this. Please share this with somebody. At least 1-2 people. Go ahead and share this out because we need to get the Couch Rider Raven rocking and rolling. I need to get this thing as big, as far as wide as possible. I will be here this football season, and I will be here all throughout the offseason. We'll try to keep it as consistent as possible. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in to the home of Original Sports Perspective. From our couch to yours. This is your Couch Rider Raven saying, hey, man, I appreciate you. Y'all make sure y'all love up on each other in this room and out there. More love in the world as a whole is a great thing. Peace out.
Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. We gon' ride out. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, we gon' ride out.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, Original Sports Perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect it. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White of rap for the beat, though.